If you think that Devon Archer couldn't top the stunt he pulled by going in front of the House Oversight Committee on Monday, think again, my friends. Big Daddy Devon has done one better than that. What did he do, you ask? Oh, nothing much, except that he went in front of the most influential man in media today, Tucker Carlson, and gave an interview. How did this come about? What did they talk about? Hang on, folks. We're going to get into all this in just 1 second. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. At around 2 p.m. Eastern today, Tucker Carlson and his team posted an 11-minute video to his Twitter page. The video was of an interview that Tucker Carlson had done with a particular person. All right, nothing necessarily unusual about all that. Tucker Carlson's been posting things regularly to his Twitter page now and doing quite well at it, as he's getting millions of views. What was extremely unusual about this particular video was who the subject of the interview was: Devon Archer. Between Tucker Carlson and Devon Archer, those two good old boys have managed to make people in Washington, D.C. and all around the country sweat bullets, particularly if they happen to be a Democrat. Now, everybody thought that Devon Archer could not top what he did Monday by going in front of the House Oversight Committee. But no, he's managed to do it by sitting down with Tucker Carlson. I have got a million and one questions that are running through my mind right now, but let's start with a few basics that probably you're asking too. Number one, how did this interview even come about? Well, we don't know yet. Did Tucker reach out to Devon Archer? Did Devon Archer reach out to Tucker? Who knows? All we know for sure at this point is that Devon Archer has sat down with what I would argue is the most influential man in media right now. Number two, why Tucker Carlson? I mean, this is Devon Archer. He could have gone to MSNBC, CNN, PBS, NPR, the three major networks, the Washington Post, the New York Times. Yet Devon Archer, a Democrat's Democrat, is sitting down with the one man that is persona non grata in Washington media today. Though he might be persona non grata to the uppity ups, he is most certainly the people's journalist. And Devon Archer sat down for an interview with him. Now, that gets to question number three. Why? Why is Devon Archer doing all this? There have got to be hundreds, if not thousands, of Democrats across this country that are viewing this as perhaps the ultimate form of betrayal. This is a man who roomed with Hunter Biden in college. This is a man who went into business with Hunter Biden. This is a man that is a friend of the president. What is going on here? Why the betrayal? Notice the key word: betrayal. And that word may go on to explain why Devon Archer is doing all this. I want to take you back 2 or 3 days to a video clip that Viva Fry and Robert Barnes put out on their YouTube page. And in that clip, Robert Barnes explains just why it is that Devon Archer may be doing what he's doing. Folks, take a listen to this.
So that's the accusation in part against Devon Archer, was that as part of this sort of ongoing lobbying operation, he scammed some Native American tribes. Archer clearly believed that his connections to Joe Biden would protect him politically. And when he ended up indicted and ended up convicted, and then the Second Circuit Court of Appeals didn't reverse and affirm the conviction, is when he's like, screw this, I'm starting to talk to Congress because I got a lot of records, and since you boys won't step in to save me, I'm going to throw you boys under the bus.
Now you begin to understand what may be motivating Devon Archer in all of this. Revenge. And if revenge is a dish that is best served cold, I can promise you this. Before it's all said and done, Devon Archer may serve up something colder than old Joe Biden likes even in his own ice cream. Now, to the interview itself, I got to give Tucker a lot of credit. He knows what he's doing. What he put out today was an 11-minute video. More or less, it's a teaser. It's part one of something else that's coming. Now, will it be tomorrow? Will it be next week? We don't know. But we do know that this is in multiple parts. What was posted today was a teaser, more or less a introductory discussion, a few basic setup questions that Tucker had for Devon Archer that will be explored more in depth when the next part of the interview comes out. How widespread was the effect of this little 11-minute video? Well, it was posted at 2 p.m. Eastern today. As of the time of the recording of this video, that posting on Twitter by Tucker Carlson and his team had gotten 12.1 million views. Needless to say, this sucker's moving around. Now, what all did Devon Archer have to say? Well, I've got a few clips I want to play for you because some of this is very revealing and very telling. Some of it you may have already heard from, news reports already out there, but some of it gives a little bit more insight into exactly what it was that Hunter Biden brought to the table and what Joe Biden knew, didn't know, and understood to be going on. So let's start with the first clip. This is set up as a question that Tucker Carlson asked Devon Archer. In other words, just what was it that Hunter was doing? What did he bring to the table? Take a listen to this.
Complex. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a complex business. Takes years of training, but again, the initial idea around the business, they were going to provide, the government insight and an additional network to raise capital and then, deal with regulatory issues that you might have at the corporate level.
Right. Regulatory issues.
Exactly.
Okay. So that would be more his area.
Right, that would be his space.
Right. But did he have a sophisticated understanding of regulation, do you think?
I think that he led a team that had a sophisticated.
Okay, because I lived in Washington a long time, around a lot of regulation. Also, a very complex area.
Absolutely.
So, folks, do you begin to understand why it is that the confidential informant who's mentioned in that FBI document, that FD 1023, why it was he heard the folks at Burisma say, we think our dogs are smarter than Hunter Biden. Now you begin to get some confirmation from his own business partner who seemed to believe, Hunter was in charge of the regulatory business side of it. And, did he really have a good understanding? Well, he had a team that had a good understanding. I love that quote. That is just great. So that gets to the next clip. And it's sort of revealing because I think Devon Archer began to understand the longer that he was in business with Hunter, just what exactly it was they were doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that Devon Archer is as sweet and innocent and pure as the driven snow. He's an adult. He knew what he was getting into. But it may very well be that over time, he had a deeper understanding of what they were doing and what it all really meant. So I want to set that up with this next clip. Folks, take a listen to this.
Yeah, no, I think that's the one of the core misconceptions. I mean, it seems like when understanding a regulatory environment means selling access at the end of the day. That's how I interpret it. And I think that's how most people in Wall Street, whether they admit it or not, interpret it.
Yeah.
So understanding a regulatory environment meant that they were selling access. Like I said, Devon Archer's no choir boy, but I think he began to realize what all this meant. That whole, navigating the bureaucracy sort of thing. No, we were just selling access. flat out, straight up, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now, there is another very telling clip, and I want to play it for you. It runs, maybe about 30 seconds, a little longer. Joe Biden. Joe Biden has maintained all along that, he didn't know what was going on. He didn't talk to his son about his business dealings. He didn't talk to his business partners. None of that. Well, I want you to listen to what Devon Archer says here, because if you thought Monday was a broadside in the old SS Biden boat, this next clip may be just as damaging. Take a listen to this.
So Joe Biden, who's very much a product of Washington, of course, must have known that he was calling in to effectively a business meeting that his son was having. I mean, he must have understood that was kind of what his son was selling.
Well, it's hard for me to speculate on that.
But I guess my question, just to keep it to the facts, Joe Biden, then the sitting vice president, knew that there were Hunter's business associates in the room.
Yeah, I think I can definitively say at particular dinners or meetings, he knew there were business associates, and or if I was there, I was a business associate too.
Yeah.
So I think, or if any of the other colleagues from the DC office or the New York office were there. So yeah, at times there were, from the to be completely clear on the calls. I don't know if it was an orchestrated call in or not. It certainly was powerful though, because if you're sitting with a foreign business person and you hear the vice president's voice, that's prize enough. I mean, that's pretty impactful stuff for anyone.
Did you catch what he just said, folks? Didn't matter if it was the phone calls or the dinners. Joe knew exactly who he was sitting down with. You can't tell me that they were just talking about the weather, as U.S. Congressman Dan Goldman would lead everyone to believe. Joe Biden knew exactly who he was talking to. Joe Biden knew exactly what they were talking about. And Joe Biden is sitting there with business people that his son is dealing with. There's one last clip that I want to play, and I call this clip being a little too close to the sun. As I said, this 11-minute interview is a lot of different things, but it's definitely it has almost a confessional feel to it. Listen to this clip, and I think you'll begin to understand what I'm talking about. Runs about a minute.
It gets a 10 on the etiquette scale, but he's a vice president of the United States,
right,
and he's talking about foreign business deals with you and thanking you for that.
I think, again, it goes back to my earlier point I think I hit the jackpot in finding the regulatory environment or company that can navigate right to the top. But, obviously, as time's told, being a little bit too close to the sun ends up burning you.
For sure. And it did you, and you suffered greatly for it. And this is not a criticism of you. I would think, as a business guy, you use every advantage. These are not business guys. This is the vice president of the United States. He's not allowed to be working on businesses with foreign governments while he's vice president. I don't think.
Not that I know of.
But here he is.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think Archer is experiencing a great deal of regret. He's had time to think about it, and realizing what the Bidens did to him 5 years ago, and the fact that they tried to put him in jail over the weekend. I think everybody's starting to understand why it is Big Daddy Devon is doing what he's doing. Now, one last thing, and we'll wrap this video up. You'll notice that Tucker Carlson held something in his hand while he was talking to Devon Archer. What was that, you might ask? Well, something that I think really sinks the SS Biden, at least on the argument of, hey, I never talked to my son about, his business dealings. I had no idea what he was doing. I didn't talk to his business associates, yada, yada, yada. Well, take a look at this. What it was that Tucker was holding was following. Headline from the New York Post: Joe Biden wrote letter to Hunter biz partner Devon Archer after 2011 China lunch, despite claims of never discussing the son's business. Article written by Steve Nelson. Then Vice President Joe Biden told his son Hunter's former business associate Devon Archer in early 2011 he was happy the two were partners, in a postscript to a note thanking Archer for attending a lunch with visiting Chinese President Hu Jintao. Quote, I apologize for not getting a chance to talk to you at the luncheon yesterday. I was having trouble getting away from President Hu, Biden told Archer in the letter dated January 20th, 2011. I hope I get the chance to see you again with Hunter. I hope you enjoyed lunch. Thanks for coming. Biden, who maintains he never discussed business with his son, attached a handwritten note to the letter. P.S. Happy you guys are together, an apparent reference to their Rosemont Seneca Partners investment firm. Archer shared the letter with former Fox host Tucker Carlson as part of an interview published Wednesday, and the Post acquired a copy. Oh my word. This interview, just even as a teaser, is explosive. I cannot wait to see the rest of this, because I tell you what, Tucker Carlson, regardless of what people may think of him, is probably one of the best journalists in America today. And he's also a superb interviewer. I'm dying to see the questions that he asks Devon Archer. And I'm going to be even more fascinated to see what Devon Archer has to say. Because, hey, look at it from Devon Archer's perspective. No matter what happens out of all this, he's going to be serving jail time. The Bidens aren't coming to his rescue. They didn't come to his rescue 5 years ago. They most certainly aren't coming to his rescue now. And not only are they not coming to his rescue, they're trying to get a date certain for when he goes to jail. For the express purpose of two things. One, intimidation, to try to make sure he doesn't talk. And number two, to make sure he can't talk to anybody else. So Devon Archer has nothing to lose in this. So like I say, this next part of the interview is going to be fascinating. I'm definitely going to watch it, and I hope you do too. Anyway, as we start to wrap up this video, please do me some favors as always. Number one, if you are not a subscriber to the channel, please do so. Number two, please leave a comment below. It really helps with the algorithm and spreading the word around. Number three, please give me a thumbs up on the video. Number four, share the video around. And number five, hit the bell for notifications. I want to make sure that you are always aware when new material is coming out. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.